in true offensive line fashion, there was a very big decision made by the Panthers like a week ago, and we're going to get to it now, right? Because offensive line.
I was like right after the first round of the draft, I think, is when they announced
so it's actually more than a week ago. We're going to get to it now because the offensive line, you take a back seat. I don't know what you want. It happens. You're aware of it, right? When you sign up for that position. The Panthers quietly picked up the fifth-year option of Ikem Ekwonu. Their left tackle, former NC State offensive lineman, former top 10 pick in the draft, who has had a up and down career in his 3 years with Carolina. Granted, I'd like to give him all benefit of the doubt. Hasn't been put in the best situations from a coaching standpoint for his entire 3 years. But they picked up his fifth-year option, which is a big commitment. It's a big financial commitment, and it's a commitment to give him more opportunities to earn opportunities. I also want to be clear on the timing of it. Dennis, you said it was right after the first round, right?
Yeah, it was right after the first round, or right after the second round. I think it was right after the first round.
It was right after the first round, and they revealed it in kind of their recap presser.
Yeah, like, yeah, by the way, we picked up his fifth-year option.
Everybody's excited about Tepper and McMillan. We know that's where all the questions are going to be. We'll throw an offensive lineman fifth-year option at you. Sweep that one under the rug. The timing matters there to me. You do it before the first round, it's a huge vote of confidence. You do it after the first round, we needed to see if someone we liked better fell into our laps. And, since the board didn't go the way where an offensive lineman was coming at us at pick 8, now, yeah, I guess we'll pick you up, right? It's a different level of vote of confidence to do it pre and post draft. You could argue, all right, well, they knew that they weren't going to, put a second rounder over him, so they did it between. But like the message sent to me is, yeah, we're giving you another year, but this wasn't a slam dunk, right? There are other guys in his draft class that got their fifth-year options picked up, and they could have been picked up like 6 games into their career. They would have been like, yep, stamp it. We want that extra year of control. This one, they labored over. And rightfully so, right? They're the two most important people on the field to Bryce Young's development are his blindside protector and his number one wide receiver. They spent a lot of draft capital on his number one wide receiver with Tepper and McMillan, and they should put an equal amount of thought into who's going to be his blindside protector, and they've decided at least for another year or two it's Ikem Ekwonu. And Icky, for his side of things, has said all along he wants to be in Carolina long-term, and here's part of what he told the media about that, wanting to stay with the Panthers for a long time.
I mean, I have no timeline, honestly. I let my agent and, Dan and everybody kind of figure that out for themselves. But, I mean, obviously, all parties involved know I want to be here in Carolina long term. So, hopefully we can get that done. I'm definitely grateful and excited for this fifth-year option. I definitely appreciate that. And I definitely know that that's moving in the right direction for hopefully a long-term deal coming up in the future.
So here's what it is. And here's what a rookie contract is, if we're being real. A rookie contract is an audition. And it's not a low-stakes audition. If you pass the audition, if you smash, you knock it out of the park, talking like $25 million a year is your reward. So it is a major, major audition. It's there's a magnificent promotion up, and your boss swings by and goes, hey, just so you know, we're going to be paying attention to you extra hard over the next 3 months. And how you do in the next 3 months decides whether you double your salary and get the corner office or whether you stay in the role you're in. You're going to do everything you can to get better, right? You're making extra calls, right? The numbers on your phone are going to wear out because you're making so many cold calls. So assuming this is some kind of sales position. Ikem Ekwonu, focus on being better from play to play. That's how he described what his focus is going to be on.
The way I feel like it still boils down to consistency. And I feel like I've said that almost every year now. But that's kind of the position I play. That's how you make your money. That's really how you lead the team, is being consistent day in and day out. So for me, really just building more and more consistency in my play.
Here's the consistency I'm looking for. I don't even know if it's consistency is the word. If you watch a game, then yeah, it's consistency. It's being good play to play to play. But I actually think it's type of play. Now, Dennis, what's your vibe on Pro Football Focus, PFF?
I take it with a grain of salt.
Okay, that's what we'll do here.
Yeah, I do. I take it with a grain of salt.
Because offensive linemen simply don't have, like, yards per target like a wide receiver, or completion. Like, they don't have the stats that we can point to look at how a player's doing. Wide receiver, we know if he catches balls against man versus zone, right? We know if he's depth of target. Like, we can put numbers on that. Offensive line, it's basically like sacks allowed, and there you go. But then you also have PFF grade, Pro Football Focus grade. Their shtick is they watch every game, every play, and on tape evaluation give a grade. Pro Football Focus, take it with a grain of salt, but these numbers are drastic, had Ikem Ekwonu as the 11th best run-blocking tackle in the NFL. That's very good. And that adds up with his reputation. He's a mauler in the run game. They had him as the 65th best pass-blocking tackle in the NFL last year. I mean, if you do the math, there's only 64 starters. So that means, right, there's 2 tackles starting, and then guys get hurt and other guys get enough snaps to qualify. But that puts him as outside of even starting at, off tackle, let alone blindside tackle. So the consistency to me is play in and play out being great. It's being as great in pass protection as you are in run blocking, while also strengthening your strengths and going from 11th best run blocker to 3rd, right? You want to keep getting better at everything, but you drastically need to improve as a pass blocker. Again, according to PFF, taking it with a grain of salt, because I think it's really hard to give a tape grade without knowing the play call and without knowing what your responsibilities are and all of that. And it's not like offensive coordinators are calling up PFF and saying, hey, on this play we were fan protecting and the he's going to get a chip from the tight end or anything like that. Like there's you don't get that information. Here's the best news for Ikem Ekwonu, and here's why I like picking up his 5th-year option. He was much better last year than he was second year. He actually was pretty good his rookie year. Second year took a dip, but that was also the year where they had a bunch of different play caller changes. The coach got fired after 11 days. It was the Frank Reich year. Or Frank Reich half a year, followed up by, I mean, we don't have to go relitigate that mess all over again.
You think in his first 4 years he's had 5 people with the title of head coach at some point? In his first 3 years? Because he had Matt Rule, yes, Steve Wilkes, and then Frank Reich and Chris Tabor, and now Dave Canales?
So
it's a lot.
It's a good bit that he improved from the year before once he got around Dave Canales and that coaching staff. The other good news is he's 24 years old. Going into year 4, he's 24 years old. I looked it up. The Lions drafted Tate Ratledge, an offensive lineman out of Georgia, in the 2nd round. That's a premier pick. He is also 24 years old, and he was drafted this like just a couple of weeks ago. The same time they picked up Ikem Ekwonu's 5th-year option, Ratledge was picked within 24 hours of that decision. 2nd rounder to the Lions, who's a team that has drafted well. So you can still bet on Icky as a development guy. Like, you can still look at it something that he doesn't do well and say, I think he's going to get better at that. There becomes a point where you stop making those kind of bets, right? If you have an offensive lineman that's been in the league 6 years and he's 28 years old and he's, played thousands and thousands and thousands of snaps, you go, all right, maybe I should stop projecting what he can do and just start judging him what he is. Ikem Ekwonu, I do think you can still, for at least another year or two, take some bets on. I think it can still click for him in this aspect. You better hope it does, because that would make your job a lot easier to have left tackle taken care of. And also, and I've said this a billion times, I love offensive lines with experience together. Like, all 5 starters out there, you know the calls, you know how they like to do things. Chemistry is important. They are returning all 5 starters. And I don't expect Robert Hunt to go anywhere anytime soon. Left guard, who will be next to Ikem Ekwonu. So that those 2 guys will only get better and better and better at working together.
Yeah, Damian Lewis is under contract for 3 more years at left
Other
guard.
Yep. Oh, sorry, Damian Lewis. What did I say?
Yeah.
Robert Hunt's at the other side.
And Hunt's got 4 more years left on his deal as the right guard. So question is, going forward, is what about Taylor Moton on the right side? He's in the last year of his contract. He's on the other side of 30. maybe the Carolina Panthers maybe look to, and if they like Icky, they like him as a run blocker, but they find someone that can play left tackle right away. Maybe they kick him over to the right side. Who knows?
There's that possibility as well. Right tackles, although they're getting paid a lot more this offseason, they traditionally don't get paid as much as left, so he's going to fight and claw for that left job as long as your quarterback's right-handed. Go watch a movie, Blindside, Michael Orr. You can learn all about it.